So yeah, oh yeah, Rage said, don't talk to him, Lost, you'll get cooked. If you do the same Asmon method and stay in your circle jerk, you can be a bot and just think you're right 24/7. Exactly. I don't know if you heard what came out about Tectone, but you could have a case against them. They're threatening your life and defaming you. Both have had horrible things come out in the legal system, let alone. I know. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, Tectone stuff, rape tone stuff we'll get to in a little bit. But like, I mean, that's another one of those fucking losers. Again, judge me by my enemies moment, of course. Rape tone was in court and hasn't been tweeting as much. Or hasn't been like posting or live streaming as much. If you, I mean, you probably don't pay attention to that sort of thing. I certainly don't, but that's what people say. He has not been doing enough posting, partially because he had an ongoing court case, an active court case, which, by the way, finalized recently, and it caused his talent agency, run by his best friend and number one defender, Asmongold, to drop him. We have terminated our relationship with Tectone. Several months ago, we initiated our separation process and recently have finalized his departure. Now, the reason why this happened is because after a long and contentious court battle with his ex-partner, who accused him of sexually assaulting her. Okay. From what I understand, the court case has been finalized. I don't know the exact details. I haven't been following it closely. But from what I understand, the civil proceedings came to a close, and the victim was able to successfully sue. Now, one of the things that's interesting, apparently Miskiff sent like a court reporter to the court to take notes in this process. I didn't get to see all of this stuff because I was out in the fucking streets of Minneapolis. But the court reporter took diligent notes, and apparently, yeah, and she also posted this after, of course. She said, "Happy day. Much love to this queen." I mean, seriously, I'm sorry that you had to go through all of that and then probably get fucking traumatized altogether one more time in the court process. But at least now you have a moment of respite. But yeah, I saw this. Tectone admits in court he pivoted to shitting on Hasan and shilling right-wing content because he was accused of sexual assault. Lawyer replied, "We've been in deposition for over, 7-9 months, I think, and you've only spent 15 minutes searching for tweets." Tectone responded, and I quote, "Yes." He defended his rants by saying, "When a content creator in our space gets these accusations, they have to pivot content to stay relevant." Then he brought HasanAbi saying, like how when he shocked his dog. So apparently he did a right-wing pivot, and he thought that, but HasanAbi bad would work in a court of law. Now, the reason why I laugh about this stuff is because like you cannot be that online, man. Like, you can't literally, like, this is the equivalent of something I joke about all the time. Like, imagine someone does a murder, okay, and then they're being prosecuted, and they turn to the judge and they go, "Well, HasanAbi shocked his dog, Your Honor. Why aren't you prosecuting him?" It's like, bro, are you fucking stupid? Like you're the one who's in trouble, not some fantasy that you concocted in your mind. Are you that dumb? Now, of course, for him, he is that dumb, yes. Because if you look at his fucking profile, which is the first and hopefully last time we will be doing this. But if you look at this dipshit's profile, you see it. You see that pivot very clearly, okay? Somewhere along the line, he decides he's a right-winger. And when he becomes a right-winger, eating off of Asmongold's dick to the best of his ability, because he sees Asmongold really popping off with this kind of stuff, it's all clips out of context, consistently talking about me. Same exact thing that Asmongold does with like AI boosted thumbnails. Content cop Hasan and Ludwig, Ethan Klein lawsuit dropped, and it's bad. Hasan lost his mind. I mean, he was eating good. Look, 359,000 views 6 months ago, right? This ties back to what I was talking about. The whole notion that like a lot of people are forced into submission, forced into silence on the internet because they only see this. And when a lot of my supposedly woke progressive friends did not want to fucking turn around and say this kind of stuff is so stupid. Hasan's reputation is fucked now, 400,000 views. Am I crazy? R-word TikToker tried to ruin a viewer's life on stream. Hasan thinks he's a victim. Ian and Anissa. Hasan is delusional, right? Hasan crashed out on lawyer over the truth. Asmongold versus Hasan. Lawyer lays down the law on Hasan. And then when he does like anime related shit, nobody cares. But that's how easy it is to be a fucking right-wing moron on the internet. This is why I always say nobody grifts to the left, because grifting to the right is so easy. You don't have to know anything. You just have to look at like whatever large left content creator exists, or even someone that's like maybe somewhat quiet, but still has like a good conscience and will every now and then speak out on, you know, issues, and just yell at them and say that they're woke, say that they're a woke terrorist that must be punished. And then have your fucking newfound audience go and harass them endlessly, harass them into submission. Now, part of the reason why he was doing this, and I didn't really know about him at all, was because he came after me one of these in one of these incidents, right? I got a lot of fucking weird haters. I'm gonna do a tier list, I think soon. I have like a very funny, woke, anti-woke tier list that I'm planning on doing on all my top haters, to give you guys a little bit more insight, but in a humorous way. In any case, he was a fucking massive gooner. He was into lolly. He was a fucking weirdo to begin with. And he was also an abuser. That's why we were calling him Rape Tone, right? But apparently the reason why he did this, the reason why he pivoted, was because he wanted to maintain relevance. And he openly admitted that in court. Isn't that fucking crazy? Just saying the fucking quiet part out loud. I don't think I have brought up rape tone, dick tone, tech tone more than maybe twice. Look at the amount of videos he's made. Last time I brought him up was when we found out that he's a generational rapist, that his dad was such a prolific rapist in the military that they wrote a fucking bill around it. Okay? They wrote a goddamn bill around his father's rapes in the military. Do you know how fucking hard it is? Do you know how hard it is to get prosecuted for rape in the military? Do you know how big of a problem sexual assault among the ranks is? And I would have never found that out if he hadn't just like, yelled at me for no fucking reason. He's also regularly signal boosted by Yeet and that slop tubing freak More Pegasus. Yeah. All of those guys are all ruthless weirdos, like total fucking weirdos. But the reason why I'm also talking about, and then he blamed me. He cried and blamed me for it too. Here's what you said about his dad at the time. Yeah. Where's the OG tweet? I think the OG post is unavailable, but he basically says something about me. Oh, bro's going after my 75-year-old cancer-ridden dad. Hasan is zeroing in on Tectone right now. This is the last time I talked about him. Specifically, Tectone's dad for alleged previous sexual harassment in the army. Bald rapist himself. It's a familial obligation over here. Bro's going after my 75-year-old cancer-ridden dad because of an alleged sexual harassment claim from 17 years ago when I was 15 years old to try to paint me as a rapist. This guy's fucking psychotic. He must be upset because his best friend's on trial right now. I don't know who he means when I said best friend. To which I responded with, they got your dad's sex crimes in the congressional record, man. Why are you still chirping? You know what? That deserves another retweet, for today.
The story of Colonel Michael Robertson, who commanded Fort Bliss's 31st Combat Support Hospital at Camp Dwyer, a military base and airfield in the Helmand River Valley in Afghanistan. Last week, Colonel Robertson was convicted by a military judge of 14 charges, including having pornography on his government computer, sexually harassing 3 women, and assaulting 5 women. 8 women that served under his command testified at great cost to their careers and their privacy. Colonel Robertson routinely touched them without permission on their breasts, thighs, and buttocks, and encouraged them to look at pornography computer. Some testified the harassment occurred daily. Sadly, the military careers of these 8 women who bravely did the right thing are almost assuredly destroyed. A major who filed a claim against Robertson said, quote, "I don't know if my career was in jeopardy for doing the right thing."
Yeah, that's his dad. That's your man's. That's your dads you be hanging with. They got your pops on sex assault charges. I guess they were like, no, this is what was passed down, you know? This was what was passed down generationally to me, rape tone. Anyway. Now, why am I talking about this? Because all of these fucking guys are some of the worst monstrous pieces of shit on the internet. And once they do that right-wing pivot, it's fucking over. I don't think that he will. I mean, he'll never have a moment of respite. Like, everyone will constantly, just like they do with Destiny, they will constantly bring up that he's a pedophile, right? And with rape tone, they will constantly bring up that he's a rapist. But it doesn't really matter because he has already created a community for himself, right? He's already created a right-wing community for himself. And right-wingers, unfortunately, I wish they were smarter, but they're not so smart. And also, for the most part, they just kind of organize around the anger that they feel towards what they think is like, liberal woke mindset. But the other reason why I'm talking about this is because this is a bad week for Asmongold. Because this is another one of his close and personal best friends that has been outed for, weird sexual misconduct and sexual abuse in this circumstance, right? So let's see what he had to say about this. I don't even know how to watch a kick clip, by the way. I don't know if this is like...
And what is this here? After your stream, shit went crazy. I have no idea what happened yesterday. I really don't. I saw like a bunch of stuff got leaked and like people were like making up rumors. I'm not going to comment on any of that stuff. I think that anybody knows why. I'm just not even going to get into it. So.
Oh. That's so strange that so many of his friends are sexual deviants. And consistently finding themselves in these sorts of issues, and all of a sudden you got nothing to say. Oh, I'm just oblivious. Yeah, I don't know. In court, Tectone testified he has a micro penis. Wait, what? Court transcripts come out Monday, by the way. Oh, maybe he'll talk about it then. That's probably what he's waiting for.
Any drama farmers, people that are looking to kind of get have like some kind of little bits of information or my take on it, it's just not going to happen.
Mr. I don't do research. Mr. I probably should do more research on this stuff. So I showed you a couple of these guys, and now you might understand why Los Pollos is a fucking angel in comparison to these dipshits, right? That's it. There's levels to it. Yeah, we got to hit him with this. We got to hit Asmongold with this.
Hey, they got your mans. They got your mans on sex assault charges. Yeah, the nigga you be hanging with. Oh, it's sex offender. And he was your man. He was your boy. I heard you grew up with him. That's crazy, man. You ain't know what he was doing? You ain't feel bad at all? Like, no guilt, none of that shit fucking with you? Cause your man's his whole ass. No. That's Kels. That's your man. Kels. Bump and grind. Hey, I'm gonna get with you, baby.
I think Los Pollos is savable. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like he's more so a vibes guy. Okay? He's more so a vibes guy. Okay? That's what I think. Maybe I'm being too charitable. Get Drake to denounce ICE. You could get Drake to denounce ICE, and then those Poyos would denounce ICE too. But yeah, one by one, these motherfuckers are dropping like flies left and right. But just understand that when you see someone constantly pumping this shit, when you see someone constantly pivoting to the right, constantly pumping shit, doing this, Hasan obliterated by Asmongold and Tectone again. Yeah, just like between Albania and China. They got 1.4 billion communists in the world, you know? Asmongold and Tectone, double team Hasan. Does a Goodbye Charlie video, all this stuff. I went into Asmongold's chat. He banned me for telling him he's wrong. Of course. And speaking of Asmongold, the reason why I'm pivoting here, the reason why I'm talking about Asmongold from Tectone from Rape Tone to Asmongold is because Asmongold owns Mythic Talent. This is one of the many businesses that he owns. He's one of the co-founders of Mythic Talent. It's a talent agency. Not only is he what is this? Here's my transcript analysis I did before of how often he mentioned you on YouTube. He mentioned you over 2,000 times across 345 videos versus you mentioned him 9 total times on your channel. Hasan never mentioned Tectone because he doesn't call him Tectone. He calls him Rape Tone. Now rerun the stats. If you include Rape Tone and other variations of Tectone's name, Hasan's mentions go up 9 total on his YouTube channel. However, if you look at total mentions, not just single videos like I did, Tectone mentions rise to 2007. So 2007 versus 9. Do you understand how these motherfuckers work? Like, the reason why I'm telling you is because, like, if you see a bunch of slop tubers, a bunch of fucking people that are like, I'm just apolitical, I'm just common sense, I really fucking hate this one guy who's a socialist. Oh, he's the real enemy. You should know how evil he is. Just know what they're doing. Okay? They're doing this for a fucking reason. And some of them will even be liberals like Sex Pestany, also involved in his own personal court case where it came out that he was actually procuring child sexual abuse material from a fucking minor that he kept in his hard drives. Like, it's not my fault that almost all of my most vociferous and most ferocious haters happen to fucking all have these sorts of charges, man. I don't know what it is. I don't fucking know what it is. I don't know why that like all these people gravitate towards hating on me and they don't stop either. It's not like normal. Like at least with XQC, it's usually like he farms me, whatever, but you know, it's irrelevant ultimately. You know, it's not, it doesn't hit the same level of ferociousness as like a Tectone who's just only fucking doing. At least he farms everything, you know what I mean? But people like Asmongold, people like Tectone, they're just almost entirely, their political commentary, it revolves around Trump good and you know, Hasan bad. Because for these guys, they don't have a real political worldview, okay? They don't have a real political vision. Whether good or bad, they just don't have anything, right? Like there are certain things that they believe, like, you know, maybe some socially learned opinions about like trans people or gay people or fucking, I don't know, like black people. Like they have some points of view, but they don't have a coherent political ideology. They don't have real political conviction. They don't have a vision for a better future. So all of this is basically a game to try to boost their algorithmic status to the best of their ability. And they realize that the best possible way to do that is by doing drama, covering politics from the perspective of drama. So instead of being like, here's why Hasan is wrong because, you know, I don't agree with what he's saying about Israel is great or whatever. Instead of that, they just go, Hasan is a terrorist, right? Hasan is getting deplatformed again. And a lot of people respond positively to that, unfortunately, because a lot of people also don't have that political education. Okay? They don't have that political education either. They don't have time to do the fucking reading. They don't have time to do the understanding. So they just go, give me some fucking easy to understand quick hits as to why I should not listen to this person at all. And that's it. And when it actually doesn't happen, when they go, Hasan is done this time, Hasan is done this time. In slop-tuber circles, you are now known to have anti-pedophilia AOE aura because all your ops are pedos. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck it is. I mean, even Dr. Disrespect. Even fucking Dr. Disrespect. Every single time, brother. How is that possible? That's why it hits every time I say, judge me by my enemies. In any case, they'll be like, Hasan is finished. Hasan is finished over and over again to like a smaller and smaller and smaller audience. And then inevitably they'll get to, why is he not finished? Well, that's because he owns Twitch. Why is he not finished? Because he actually blackmails all of his friends. He must have blackmail on all of his friends. Also, we should make it harder for his friends to come out and defend him, or defend the truth, rather. We should also harass them too. We should go after them too, so that like he doesn't even have any fucking support system whatsoever. So that it's easier to just like bully and punish people for having any progressive opinions whatsoever. And then people fucking sit around and go, how did we get here? How did everyone get so right-wing? Well, this is part of the reason why, because no one wants to fucking stand up. That's it. That's it. And they have been very effective for like the last 3 to 4 years. Okay? They've been very, very effective in the last 3 to 4 years, but their impact is softening now because people are so fucking frustrated because reality is hitting them in the face, right? And when you have ICE agents sieging, laying siege on fucking American cities, killing Americans, and you're going to a guy that you are supposed to get political opinions from, and the guy that you're supposed to get political opinions from is like, well, you know who's actually really the villain here? Hasan. Eventually people are going to be like, actually, he's out there. You're just fucking shitting on him from your house, and I don't agree with you. And that change is coming. That's why I said woke is back. That's why I'm saying woke is eventually going to be back. They can't comprehend why adults that are invested in the political process will turn around and you know, court me for my opinion, whether they be actual politicians, whether they be politicians that actually worked in the previous administration, politicians with ambitions for higher office, or all of these media outlets that come to me to hear what my perspective is. They're like, it doesn't make sense. Like, why are the adults that I respect not seeing what I see? Maybe it's because your brain is fucking infested with worms, okay? There's still motherfuckers who are doing this too. The whole like, look, instead of posting the actual clip, Jeremiah Johnson, another one of these like liberal ops, okay, who is a horrible, horrible figure with no emotion whatsoever, but like still grasping to this like, grasping on to this like, no, actually, Democrats, please don't become more radicalized. Okay, please don't become more radicalized. Please, no matter what you do, don't become more radicalized. Don't actually fucking fight back. Democrats, don't do it. And he just fucking clip chimps like a 5-minute video that I did with Mint Press. And you listened to me talk to Mint Press already last night. Under Barack Obama at the time, a lot of Democrats were not very fond of Black Lives Matter, which is true. This is not a testament to like the Democratic Party being like completely evil or whatever. I think it's a testament to how the Democratic Party is out of step with what people want. What's wrong with Jeremiah Johnson? I mean, he's another one of these shit libs who is like constantly leading the Democratic Party astray or trying to do so. Okay? A lot of these guys are also super, super, super pro-Israel, and they just like won't get, they just cannot. They have this take where it's like the Democrats will never do anything right, or the Democrats should never do anything at all, and you should never hold them to account. You should never demand more from them. Right? The new talking points have been unlocked. I had a friend tell me this morning that what you said was hurting the Democrats, and I said, brother, they're doing that to themselves. Yeah. I know, I saw Rage defend me on Twitter. I know, I saw that. Lost says he's deleting his tweets. By the way, one of your OG slop tuber ops, Turkey Tom, also caught a sexual assault allegation where he physically abused 2 of his exes and got exposed for having a diaper fetish leaked in DMs. This didn't even reach your radar because he's laying low. No, it didn't reach my radar because I have so many fucking ops that have done like sexual assault that I don't even know. I don't even know who the fuck this one is. But that's crazy. But yeah, a lot of these fucking commentary slop tubers that run a fairly tight knit circle have been sweeping for a lot of bad faith large content creators for quite a while now. Whether it be Asmongold or whether it be, you know, people like Destiny especially as well. Like they get their notes from Destiny and they basically plagiarize whatever they see on subreddits. And because those subreddits are endlessly brigadeable and oftentimes are brigaded by the likes of Destiny and his community, that they only fucking put out content in one direction. This is how you arrive at this like very weird. This is how you arrive at who's Destiny. What is this? A lot of soy rightoids in the mentions here, intimidated by 2 alpha males. Only one intimidated is Kaya. Diddy Piker ran from a 13-year-old, for fuck's sake. Dude is the most bitch made on planet Earth. You fear him. Yeah, I fear his nasally bitch voice. It makes my head hurt listening to his soy valley girl accent. What? The odds that you weigh between 120 to 300 pounds are roughly 0%. The odds that Diddy Piker's little pecker even functions after all the hair restoration chemicals and roids he pumps into himself are roughly 0%. Why are you thinking about Hasan's dick? You're riding it so hard here. I can't help it. I assume Diddy Piker has cut his ties with Destiny because Tiny wanted to suck his dick and record it, but it was so embarrassingly small and pathetic he couldn't accept. Who's Destiny? Your fantasy boyfriend's father. I don't get it. No, this is Carl Bayer, who writes for the People's Line and Jacobin and stuff. Brett quoted that tweet with her hallucinations. Same vibe. Wait, dude, there's something really weird about like white people. When they see Somali people, they just like, their brains break, dude. Brother, I went back for seconds. Like, what do you mean? Lost his own kick, talking smack about you, dude. I don't give a shit. If he wants to talk to me directly, he can talk to me directly instead of being a fucking pussy. If a federal agent kills you for impeding an investigation, that's called murder. If a federal agent kills you for kicking them in the shin as hard as you can, that's called murder. If a federal agent kicks you for throwing dog shit at them, blowing a whistle while packing heat, that's called murder. Here in this fucking country, you go to court and you get sentenced by a judge. Fuck around and find out is not legally binding. I don't care what your stance on ISIS as a whole, immigration, whatever. We just witnessed a murder yesterday in broad daylight. End of story. Oh my God. Fucking thank you. Jesus Christ. This is literally common sense. Common sense is not so fucking common, man. What is that banana and rice shit posting, by the way? Some kind of dog whistle? I don't know. I think Somalis, I don't know. I don't know if they were fucking with me or not, but Abdul Rahman was saying that yesterday too. Like they eat a lot of bananas. Like they eat bananas with every meal or something. That's what he was saying. But I don't know if it was a joke or if he was like being serious. But I think white people have no culture whatsoever. So they just get like really, they get all up in their feelings. I think, you know what it is? I've been thinking about this quite a bit. I think the Somali community has created a real community in Minneapolis. They've been able to uplift certain parts of Minneapolis that were in a state of dire disrepair. They have a real, like, strong sense of community, and they have businesses, and they've been able to engage in commerce and all this stuff. So, like, that really pisses off people because they're black, they're from Africa, and they're Muslim, right? So for them, for a lot of white people, they get really pissed off. It's kind of the same thing that I brought up, if you remember, when we went to Queens. A lot of white people look to places like Spain and places like Italy, and they go, oh my God, why can't we have this? Like, look at all these people that like sit outside and they have a community, they have a high trust society, and they just like, they're having a great time. And then you look to the United States of America